right, the topic du jour is writing an equation in slope-intercept form of a line going through either points or a chart. Not gonna lie, this one's a doozy, so I'm gonna do 5 of them, and hopefully it helps. All right. Slope-intercept form looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. If my job is to find the equation of a linear equation, poorly worded, if my job is to find an equation that goes through 2 points, I need 2 things. I need my slope and I need my y-intercept. Usually, slope is given to us in these cases if I have points. Usually, slope can be found by doing the slope formula. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. The y-intercept is a point on the line that goes through the y-axis. So if the y-intercept is up there, it's going to be the point 0 something. So the y-intercept exists when x is 0, and the slope is found by doing whatever method you need to do. Now the first 3 problems I'm given 2 points. So the way I have to find slope is the old tried and true slope formula. So slope formula has me label points first, x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Write out the slope formula, m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Then I rewrite the slope formula, but I plug in what I labeled up here. So I labeled y sub 2, 3. So instead of writing out y sub 2, I'm going to write out 3. Always the minus sign in the middle. Instead of y sub 1, I have 2. So 3 minus 2 up top. X sub 2 is negative 4. Minus in the middle always. X sub 1 is 0. Now it's a matter of simplifying the fraction and keeping it improper if that's the case. 3 minus 2 is 1. Negative 4 minus 0 is negative 4. So 1 divided by negative 4 is negative 1 over 4. So that's my slope. So what I do is I fill in what I have so far. What I have so far is y equals, instead of m, I have negative 1 over 4 x plus b. Now I have to find b. This one's friendly because b exists when x is 0. Look at one of the points I was given. X was 0, which means if x is 0, that right there is my b. So now that I know what my b is, my final answer will be y equals negative 1 over 4 x plus 2. Okay? So step 1 was find the slope. Step 2 was find the y-intercept. So let's do it again. Step 1, find the slope. I find the slope by doing the slope formula, x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2. The slope formula is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Now I rewrite the slope formula using these numbers in its place. Y sub 2 is regular 7, always the minus in the middle. Y sub 1 is positive 5. X sub 2 is negative 6, minus in the middle. X sub 1 is negative 2. If you see a double negative, make it positive, and I see a double negative right there. 7 minus 5 is 2. And negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Simplify your fraction. 2 divided by negative 4 is negative, and 2 over 4 is a half. So what I have so far, and I'll write that out. So far, what I have is y equals mx plus b, but instead of m, I now know that my slope is negative a half. So far, I have y equals negative 1/2 x plus b. I need b. Well, I don't have a point 0 something, so the way I'm going to have to find b is I'm going to have to be creative here. So to find b, I'm going to take my original equation, I'm going to rewrite my original equation, but to find b, I'm going to use one of these points and plug that into here to find b. So it doesn't really matter, I'll use this point. Remember, this is an x value, that is a y value. So I'm going to replace y with a y value, so 5 equals negative 1/2, and I'm going to replace x with an x value, which is negative 2. Negative 2 plus b. 5 equals negative 1/2 times negative 2 is positive 1. Positive 1 plus b. Subtract 1 from both sides. And 4 equals b. So, I know that y equals negative 1/2 plus b, and I just found out that b is 4, so putting it all together, I have y equals negative 1/2 x plus positive 4, which is plus 4. That's my answer. Pretty tricky. Pretty tricky stuff. Not fun. Unless you're insane. Same type of problem. I'm being asked to write the equation. I have 2 points, so the way I start out is I use my slope formula. X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. My slope formula is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And then I replace my slope formula with the numbers that I labeled. So y sub 2 is 16. 16 minus, always in the middle. Y sub 1 is negative 17. Ugh. Over x sub 2 is 10 minus x sub 1 is negative 5. Ugh. If you see a double negative, make it a positive. $16 plus 17 is 33. $10 plus 5 is 15. Simplify the fraction. You can divide both of these by 3. It's not so obvious, but you can. And you're left with 11 over 5. So that's my slope. My slope is 11 over 5. So, what I have so far is y equals mx plus b. I just found out that m is 11 over 5. So instead of mx plus b, I have 11 over 5x plus b. Now I have to find b. So let me go over here. I have y equals 11 over 5x plus b. I need to find b, so I'll go to one of my points, and this point is both positives, so I'll go with that. I'll label that xy. I'll replace the y with 16. I'll replace the x with 10. 11 over 5 times 10. Shortcut for doing a fraction times a whole number is you just take that whole number, divide it from the bottom, so 10 divided by 5 is 2, and then multiply that number to the top, 22. Okay, this was special. And then subtract 22. So negative 6 is going to equal B, or B is going to equal negative 6. Now that I know what B is, I can take what I wrote out so far, and I can take what I just found out for B, and I can write out y equals 11 over 5x plus negative 6. But instead of plus negative 6, I'm going to write out minus 6. Okay, so they're pretty tough, and that's about as bad as you're going to get them when it comes to 2 points. Now we're going to switch it up a bit, and we're going to use charts. It's the same exact concept. I just have a few more options, kinda. So there's a chart. I have x and y values. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my x and y values, and I'm going to turn it into a point. And I'm going to take another x and y value, I'm going to turn that into a point, and I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did before. Okay? So step 1, slope formula. So let's label our points. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. It doesn't matter at all which points that I pick. It doesn't. The math will, in the end, work out anyway. So it's all good. It's all good. According to what I labeled, y sub 2 is 6. So I have 6 minus y sub 1 is 7. So 6 minus 7 over x sub 2 I called 3 minus x sub 1 I called 2. Six minus 7 is negative 1. 3 minus 2 is regular 1. And negative 1 divided by itself is negative 1. Nice! So what I have so far is I have y equals negative 1x plus b. Instead of y equals mx plus b, I now know that m is negative 1, so y equals negative 1x plus b. Now I'm going to simplify that in a little bit, but let's just wait. It doesn't matter which point I pick. I'm going to rewrite the guy up here, negative 1x plus b. I'm going to do, I guess this one, doesn't matter, xy. And I'm going to rewrite that guy and plug those in. So y, I called 7, so 7 equals negative 1 times, I called 2, plus b. 7 equals negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 plus b. Add 2 to both sides, add 2 to both sides. And b equals 9. So what I had so far is y equals negative 1x plus b. I just found out that b is 9. So y equals, instead of putting negative 1x though, I'm just going to put negative x. Looks better. Plus b is going to be plus 9, so plus 9, donezo. Okay? One more fun-filled problem. One more fun-filled problem. There it is, there it is, there it is. Let's pick 2 points. Doesn't matter which points that I pick. So let's do 10, negative 3, and 15, negative 5. Let's label them. X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Our slope formula is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I called y sub 2 negative 5. So negative 5 minus, I called y sub 1 negative 3. So there's a double negative I'm going to have to deal with. I called x sub 2 15 minus, I called x sub 1 10. My double negative. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. And 15 minus 10 is 5, so negative 2 over 5 is my slope. So what I have so far, negative 2 over 5. What I have so far is y equals mx plus b, but I just found out that m is negative 2 over 5, x plus b. Now I have to find b. So let's take any point. I'll use this one. It could be any of these points, but I'm using that one because 10 is just friendly. And I'm going to replace that with those numbers up there. So I'm going to replace y with negative 3 equals negative 2/5. I'm going to replace x with 10 plus b. Negative 3 equals, remember that little trick that I told you before, if you have a whole number times a fraction, do 10 divided by the denominator, so 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Add 4, cross u out, negative 3 plus 4 is 1, 1 equals b. So, putting it all together, y equals negative 2/5 x plus positive 1 plus 1. There's my equation. Gross. Gross. All right, bye.